All right, do you have 1 through 16 filled out?
Yes.
All right, have we done 17?
Yes.
Have we done 18?
No.
Okay, together. All right, so let's do 18. Some of you may have done 18, but we're going to do 18 together. All right, so this is 18. All right, 18 is you're going through the point -3, -3, and it's parallel to y equals positive 7/3 x plus 3. I'm going to work these pretty fast. So if you have a question, save your questions because I don't want to spend all my time on one problem. I want to get a body of information out there that I think will help everybody. You've had delta mass on these also. What's easy about this first one I have is I can plainly see the slope. The slope is 7/3. Okay? Parallel means same slope. So I have a point on another line. I want it to be parallel to this line. If I want two lines to be parallel, they must have the same slope. To me, it makes sense to use point slope form here because I have the slope and I have a point. So I'm going to say y minus y equals m times x minus x. Okay? By the way, the instructions say write the point slope form. All right, so what's my y value? What's going to happen if I say y minus -3?
You're adding.
Great, Bailey, I'll have y plus 3 minus a negative. And x minus -3 is x plus 3. And you're done, you can circle it, okay? But I want to show you this, okay? So watch what happens. So just pause and look. We're done, we're finished. I'm going to graph this line. The y-intercept is 3. And I'm going to go up 7. Please watch, girls. Watch in the back. I'm going to go up 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're not supposed to put dots there. Sorry. I'm just counting. I'm going up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and over 1, 2, 3. I mean, obviously, you're not going to draw all of that on your paper, okay? And then you have this line that you could maybe draw a little better with a straight edge, okay? Now I'm going to graph the line I found. How can I graph that one really fast? Think of what I know about it. I know a point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bailey?
Well, you know the starting point, it's plus 3, so you would go over to plus 3, and then you already know the slope, so you would count.
Oh wait, hang on. Remember this is in point slope form, so I don't know the y-intercept.
Oh, okay. So first you would convert it into y equals mx plus b. So you would do. Do you want me to say it?
Hang on. Listen to what Bailey's saying. Yes, she's right. I could distribute the 7/3 and solve it for y, and then I would know everything. However, look at it again, girls. I have a point, -3, -3. This is an interesting question. I didn't expect this to happen here. Hang on just a minute. Let me graph this one a little better because I was about to accidentally mess this up. I didn't realize what was going to happen. So I got to be really careful here. 1, 2, 3. Up 7 over 3. And I need one more point. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3. Let me talk about that. In order to get another point, I can go up 7 and over 3, but y'all see I don't have room to keep going up 7 over 3. So I can go down 7, right, Yana, back 3, and a negative and a negative, a positive. All right, now I've got to draw a really good line because everything was getting kind of messy there. So I've got this line tool, whoa, that I'm going to use. What's happening? Sorry, I don't know what's happening. A lot, apparently. Okay, I think that's where I want to be. Yeah. Yes. Good grief. Why is it not?
Is it hot?
It's so sweaty.
Kind of. I'm such a
Is
big girl.
anybody hot? Is everyone hot?
I'm pretty
I'm pretty good.
Oh, we can't do anything about it, girls, because they just came out of their office to fix it for themselves. So let's just manage it, okay?
Oh, it's the same.
hot. Are you cool?
I have a question.
Look, I'm not going to take questions right now.
Okay.
So please don't forget your question, okay? All right, did y'all see, girls, that I was able to use a straight edge there and get that to be a little bit better. Be very, very quiet and watch. Okay. All right, now, you don't, listen, you don't always need it in y equals mx plus b form, okay? Point slope form is also very, very good. I can go to the point, -3, which is right next to it. And I can go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and over 1, 2, 3. Something's really bothering me about this. Hang on. -3, 3. Okay. And you'll see why I was having, you may be a little worried, like, well, Miss Lazari, if you can't do it, how are we going to do it? They were so close to each other, I was having a hard time drawing them. Do you see why I was having a hard time drawing them? They're parallel lines that are so incredibly close to each other. Okay?
Or like one big line.
They're two different lines and they're parallel.
But
They have different y-intercepts but the same slope.
Yes.
Okay? All right, so after all that, while you were waiting on me to fix my graph, the point was you have this line, which is red right here, this line, and we have this line, which I'll call green, right here. So what happens is they gave you an entire line with a slope. Not right there, but I just drew a picture of a line. Let me draw it somewhere else. They gave you an entire line with a slope, and then they wanted another line that was parallel to that line. How many lines in the world are parallel to the line that you're given? An infinite number, right?
Yeah.
How will you know which one they want? They've also got to give you a point to go through. So that's what just happened. There are two different lines, one's parallel to the other. All right, if I know some of you might have a question, please write it down. Do not forget what it is. All right, I'm going to, have we done 19? 19. All right, here's 19. All right, 19 is we're going through the point, -4, 0. So watch what I'm going to do before I even start. I'm using point slope form, so I'm going to say y minus y equals m times x minus x. Do y'all see I've got it all set up to where I'm looking for the slope? It's parallel. Be sure you read carefully. It might say perpendicular. These are all parallel. It's parallel to 3/4. And so I'll put 3/4 in, and I'm done. Write your question down if you have one so you won't forget it, okay? I'm not going to graph it for you because I don't want to lose you in the momentum that I lost you in the last one. This line and this line, if I took time to graph them, would be parallel. I know for sure they'd be parallel. Do you see they have the same slope? Remember when Gabby and I got in the room and walked up 2 over 3? I was never going to catch her. We were going to always be parallel. Okay, so now let's go to number 20. All right, do y'all have 20 done on your sheet?
Yeah.
All right, let's go to 21. 21 done?
No.
All right, 21. We're going through 2, 0, and we're parallel to y equals 1/3 x plus 3. Real quick, y minus y equals m times x minus x. It says parallel. And in fact, do you really need y minus 0, or couldn't you just have y equals in this one? Write your question down if you have one. I'm not going to right now, but like say on the test, I have a multi-step question, and then I say graph both of them. Well, you pretty much know when you graph both of them, they should be parallel. With this one, we would do what Bailey said. I would go to the y-intercept and then count. With this one, I would go to the point and then count. All right, 22. Are we done 22? I guess that's no. This is 22. All right, now we have a, oh, no, we don't. We're good. All right, here's 22. Yes. Y minus y equals m times x minus x. Y minus y equals m times x minus x. Girls, what's the slope of this graph? Maria? It's always the one number in front of x. So, Maria, let's put this. So, what's the slope of that graph? Not 1, but negative 1. Isn't the slope of this y equals mx plus b? Did y'all see m is negative 1?
I see it.
All right, so that's 22. 23. Your point is negative 2, 4. So I'm going to say y minus y equals m times x minus x. We're really fortunate on the sheet because they've already got it in y equals mx plus b form. What's the slope on 23? Grazia?
Negative 5 over 2.
And I'm so thrilled they told me write it in point slope form because I don't have to do anything like distribute and add and get rid of the fraction and blah, blah, blah. All right, and then 24, the answer to 24 is this. Y minus y equals m times x minus x. And our slope, you can all see, is negative 1/2. Okay? So this sheet should be fully filled out so that when test time rolls around, you'll have your December 16th, January, whatever packet to study. All right, now I'm going to take a couple of questions, though. Questions on the sheet. Grazia?
How would you do what we just did? How would you do it if they asked us to do it with a line that's perpendicular?
Okay, I was going to say that. Thanks for bringing that up. I forgot to say it. If I wanted perpendicular, girls, y'all all tell me. If I wanted perpendicular, instead of negative 5/2, what would I put in that place, Maria? Change the sign and flip it over. So you would identify your slope, Grazia. You still use the same point. You just got to make sure you use the opposite reciprocal slope.
Okay.
Good question. Other questions, Susan? You might have still have one.
Yeah. So is there like a formula to parallel lines? Because I know with perpendicular lines you have to switch.
Parallel lines have same slope.
So they're exact same, right?
Same slope. Different y-intercept, but same slope.
Oh, okay.
Perpendicular lines have opposite reciprocal slopes.
Okay, and also, like, when we're doing the point slope form, like in the very beginning it's like y and then like minus or plus a number. Would that number be our intercept that we start
No.
working with?
No,
What would
not until I get it in y-intercept form do I know my intercept.
Okay.
So you can't look at this and tell your y-intercept. You can tell what point. I can see this point must have been negative 2, 4, and I can use that, but you don't know the y-intercept if it's in point slope form. You can rearrange it like on your quiz and figure it out, but right now, hey girls, say out loud to me, what is slope intercept form? Y equals, it has to be y equals mx plus a number. So you have to rearrange it into that. Okay? Ella? Yeah. Victoire?
Putting this problem into like the point slope form, the points themselves, they plug in as y1 and x1.
Yes.
That's how they're set up.
Okay. This one I call x1 and this one is y1.
Okay.
Okay, the only reason
Wait,
the ones
first
are
one's
there,
X1?
the one in the front's always x, the one in the back's always y. Okay? All right, now you're just going to watch me for a minute before we do this sheet, before we are finished. Okay, so, maybe somebody will come back from the bathroom and see this fun stuff. Okay. So just watch for a minute. We've talked about all kind of different slopes. And this person is actually not going to be skiing on a slope. This person's going to be sledding on a slope. Okay? And y'all are going to be quiet while I do this. Okay. Oh, sorry. Maybe I should show you some that people have done before me, because mine are not going to be that much fun. I don't know what's going to happen here. I probably should click on something that I don't know what's
What
going
does
to
it
happen.
take to be a Shenyun dancer? It
Ooh,
takes
I
a
wanna go
mind
see
of
that
steel.
This person's really good. I shouldn't have shown you this. I had a student that used to do a bunch of intense ones. I wonder if what was his name? And mine won't be near this one. What was his name? My student would do. Oh, what was that name? I forget his name. All right. Okay. I'm glad you enjoyed that. I don't know if you noticed at the beginning it was kind of flat. You can see this right here. The point of what I'm going to do in my boring ones is that little person on the sled would not have even been gone anywhere. Do you see how they had a negative slope before that? So actually when it didn't start at the beginning, do you see how that little person on the sled had to come down to that flat part? Okay. Now, so watch this. Again, I'm not trying to be impressive, nor could I be impressive. But, oh, what's his name? His name's flying in and out of my head. So now we're going to play, not really a whole ton lot. All right, so if I do this. Okay. Well, he is going to fall. That's beside the point.
Wow! Look at the way you went at first. He said. He didn't even try. He didn't even try.
Here, I'll save him. I'll try to save him.
Thank you.
My point is, if I do, sorry, I should have grabbed the line instead of that. He may not even go anywhere right here. Okay? That's just really, really boring. I really even meant, I should have grabbed the line. Where's the undo button?
It's up there.
Oh, you could reload.
I think it's right.
That's what I want,
Yes. That
but it's not letting me.
Or you could pause it. Pause it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
1, 2, yeah.
Okay. All right, girls, watch.
Why are you guys like hyperventilating?
We're nervous.
All right. He might wreck at the end, but at least he's not going to fall forever. All right, so play.
Oh!
Okay, girls, now this isn't just for fun. You've got to be learning something. if you were riding your bicycle or a sled, or if it snowed really big, I hope soon, and we go over, well, not all together, but if you go over with your friends to Central Park and sled, you're not going to pick a flat slope and go, woohoo! Because you'll just be sitting there, right?
Yes.
I'm surprised
Much
this
more
little,
than-
girls, I'm surprised that this little sled even moved on what I just drew. That's zero fun, right? You're going to go zero places. So if I'm ready to sled and I get here on this slope and I go, all right, I'm not going anywhere. Okay? It's not any fun whatsoever. Okay? As opposed to this. Okay?
Or we're gonna make them fly.
I want to make
Wow. Y'all are mean. It's funny.
Yeah,
Just
I just
don't.
wanna see them fly. Let's do like a 90-degree invert. That's what.
Make it like it's oh goodness.
I don't think it's going to work.
I don't think that's gonna work.
Don't get your hopes up.
Danielle.
Oh, he's never going to make it up that hill. Never going to make it up that hill. Shh, girls, listen. These things are really teaching you some things, by the way, but if we're going to do this, which is a lot less boring than me filling out the sheet we're about to fill out, you've got to keep it quieter because of the office in here, okay? They'll think that we're not really actually doing math in here. And they'll report me to the authorities, and then you'll have a new Algebra 2A teacher, which would be so sad. All right.
Oh, this is there. I have a question that's not really about. It's about math, but it's not about this math.
Just a second. I'm trying to figure out how to get
You
him
use an
back.
eraser, and then just change it.
Can I start at the beginning?
No, that's the beginning.
Okay.
That's weird. Why did you draw
You can
that?
use the eraser and just like fix up where the hill is.
I really just wanted to die.
The answer.
Straight down.
Oh.
I want him to get the loop.
Yeah.
You better get up that hill. Oh my shoe.
Yes.
Okay, so
If you do it straight and then just do
I'm trying to teach. All right, thank you for your input, but watch, okay? So neither one of these are going to be very fun. That one, well, that one's really not going to be fun.
It's gonna go back.
It'll go backwards. Notice that the slope of the line dictates what's happening, okay? So like when I'm skiing and I get to a place like in between slopes that I'm having to do this, that's not much fun. I'd rather have a diagonal like down 2 over 3 kind of thing, okay? I don't even know if he will go or not.
Yes.
Now, if I do this, he might still fall forever, but at least it won't be as dramatic. This is going to be, if you were skiing, you do not want to encounter that. If you were skiing or riding your bike, you could maneuver this and hope for something better at the end. This is game over. Okay?
You just draw.
That's a one-way ticket.
Remember what I said?
Sorry.
Okay. You're having too much fun learning math, all right?
Do you want me to cry?
Okay. The reason I'm doing this, girls, is if I twist the line at all, I have a y equals mx plus b. You have an x and a y in there, okay? This is a horizontal line. And it's real important that you know these two things. Let me say it really fast and then I'll clarify it on your sheet. Horizontal lines have 0 slopes. They are 0 fun. I could do it. I'm not going to die, but I'm not going to have fun. Think of where you could do this. So you can do really good on your tests and on your homework. Think of me in Central Park with my sled, okay? And so just imagine me all suited up for snow, and I put my sled down, which I have 3 in my apartment. I put my sled down on a horizontal plane, and I go, whoopee! Okay? So then you'll come and see me doing this, right? Because I'm not going anywhere unless I make myself move. It is 0 fun. You would go, could we maybe go somewhere else? Yes. Okay, now think of me at the top of a hill like this. Hopefully you would stop me and not push me off, okay? But you'd have a new algebra 2 teacher after that, all right? That's bad. That's called no slope, okay? One of them 0 slope. You're not going to die. You're just not going to have fun, okay? It has no slope. I'm sorry, I just mixed the words. Horizontal lines have 0 slope.
Yes.
It's not going to hurt you. You're going to have 0 movement, right? I'm surprised this little guy's moving. Like if I do that and sit there on my sled, I'm not going anywhere, okay? Even if you push me, then I stop. On the vertical one though, if you push me, I'm going to die. Or get hurt really bad, all right?
The way she said it, I was like, I'm going to die.
So,
No one has.
obviously I used great pains to try to make this fun for you, but let's look at this, okay? If you have a horizontal line, your slope is 0, and that was supposed to be horizontal, sorry. If you have a vertical line, you have what's called no slope or undefined. It would be really hard for me to even define what would be happening to you at that moment. Someone would run for help. Do you see there's a vast difference in 0 slope and no slope? Okay? Now to help you remember it, horizontal lines have 0 slope. And now you should never forget it. Horizontal, 0. However, I run into students all the time that get horizontal and vertical mixed up. Horizontal is like the horizon. Okay? Horizontal lines have 0 slope. Vertical lines have no slope. I can't say 0 slope. I can't say, here, let's put your sled right here, and you're going to have 0 fun. It's a whole lot more dramatic than that, okay? You'll plummet, all right? So there's no slope. Let's see why. What if I count rise over run? Like, what's my rise to get from this point to that point?
0.
I rise 0 and I run 2. Or maybe I rise 0 and go back 3. Do y'all see what I mean?
Yes.
0 on the top is always 0, except for this one. But you're not going to have that right now, okay? 0 on the top is not always 0, but at every number other than 0 it is. 0 over 7, girls, shh. Did y'all see I did not rise any? So the rise over run is 0. Horizontal lines have 0 slope. Look at the vertical line. What if I count my rise over run? I can count up or down. What's my run? Suppose I want to get to this point. My rise is 1, 2, 3. Down 3, but then over how far, Ella? 0. John, have y'all had 0 on the bottom before? That's called undefined. Undefined slope, or you can call it no slope. So my big, being real animated here, there's a big difference in 0 and no. Think of you with your skis on a double black diamond, and you probably look down and feel like it has no slope. You certainly wouldn't go, it has 0 slope, and just go, well, I'm just going to lazily ski along. Okay, that wouldn't be a good idea. Okay, so do you see no slope means bad news. All right, vertical lines. So let's look at your packet.
The new one?
The new packet that says January 9th that you can put January 15th on the top of. All right, so you may want to underline some things here. So now I'm really teaching. The equation x equals 5. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to show you this. I'm going back to the packet in a minute. Right here, this point, I said this the other day in class actually. This point right here is -3, 2. This point right here is 0, 2. On the purple, this is right here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2. This point back here is negative 6, 2. What do you notice in all of these points? Y is 2. I don't care what x is. Do you remember me telling you that?
Yes.
On horizontal lines, there is no y equals mx plus b. Let me show you why. Look at the purple line. Look at the purple line. Raise your hand if you can tell me if it's horizontal or vertical. Don't say it out loud. Grazia?
It's horizontal.
Horizontal, okay? So Grazia and I are going to write the equation for the line. Y equals mx plus b. All right. What's the y-intercept of the purple line?
3.
Oh, sorry. I meant for that to go through 2. Okay? 2. And what did I tell you the slope of a horizontal line is? 0. So do you see why it's just y equals 2? So horizontal lines are always y equals. Do you see how the red line is an x equals? All of these have all the same x. All of these have all the same y. All right, now to your sheet. Okay, at the top, the equation x equals 5 is a vertical line. X equals 5, those are always vertical lines. X equals 5 would look like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It would look like this, where all the x's are 5. Girls, do y'all see that every single x here is 5?
Yes.
Okay, I counted out 5 every time. All of my points, x is equal to 5, as a vertical line. The equation means that the line goes through the x-axis at 5. A vertical line would go through the x-axis. It's not a horizontal line. So this is easy to remember. X equals go through the x-axis. All right, so what do you think is going to happen with the equation y equals 2 following down your sheet? Y equals 2 is a horizontal line. How will you remember all of this? Y, do y'all see in green the y-axis? Okay. Now in blue, I'm going to actually go through the y-axis at 2. This is the place where all my y's are 2. That's a horizontal line. Do you see there are no diagonals? Okay. All right, so y equals 2. This equation means it goes through the y-axis at 2. Notice in horizontal and vertical line equations, there's only one letter. Okay, girls, listen. If you have 2 letters, they mean x's and y's. Then your graph's going to have a tilt. If you only have one letter, it's either horizontal or vertical. If I have a y equals mx plus b, if both letters are in there, it'll tilt. Okay? Are y'all okay with that? All right. They just said all that. Let's go to slope. The slope of a horizontal line is 0. What I want you to do on that bold word horizontal, circle the z. Horizontal. And draw a line to the 0. Because now you'll remember it forever, I hope. Horizontal lines have 0 slope. Go down 2 lines, the slope of all vertical lines. Always remember this vertical line that you saw line writer going down. There's no hope for him, okay? There is no slope. I know I'm being dramatic, but I always do that, hoping that, I do it a lot, hoping you'll remember. You go, oh, vertical line, I have no hope, all right? I'm going to hurt myself, all right? Horizontal lines is going to be 0 fun. I'm not going to get hurt, okay? It's 0. I know, I'm sorry. Okay, this is probably inappropriate, but whatever. All right, so now let's do number 1. All right, x equals 3. I want all of y'all to go out on the x-axis, 1, 2, 3, and draw a vertical line. X equals 3. Every time you see an x equals or a y equals, you do not have a slanted line. Did everybody do that? Some people aren't writing. Number 2. Susan, did you already draw it? All right, you might want to try it and look up here. Number 2. Go to which axis? Hey, look up here. On number 2? Number 2, look at what I'm doing here. Okay? Like I've underlined it a lot now. If you see y equals -1, go to which axis? The y-axis at -1 and draw a horizontal line.
I have a question.
Okay?
How did we get -1 from y?
I'm doing number 2.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Thanks, Daniela. All right, number 3. Y equals 6. Which axis do I go to? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you should sort of think like, wait, why didn't you teach this one before the slanted lines? Because these are really easy, right? Y equals 6. What slope does that have? No slope or 0 slope? 0 slope. Okay. Question?
Well, no, it's okay.
All right, number 4. X equals negative. Did you change your mind, Gracia? I couldn't really hear you. Is she asking me a question? I can't.
Oh, no.
Okay. Daniela, what axis do I go to?
The X.
At -2. And Daniela and I'll draw a line. Question?
Yeah, so for the horizontal lines, it's always going to be on the y-axis, right?
Yes. And they say that at the very top 2 equations, if you want to look back up there to refresh your memory. Number 5, y equals -4. Number 6, what happens with x equals 0?
You put it on the.
I go to the x-axis, but it does this. It's x equals 0 is the y-axis. All right, at the bottom of the page, what type of line is parallel to a horizontal line? Would have to be another horizontal line. What type of line is perpendicular to a horizontal line?
A vertical.
A vertical line. Okay? And as usual, just come back with the sheet will be one of your assignments, and I'll post the other part of your assignment. So one thing I want you to do, you don't have to finish the sheet, but just bring it back with you. And I think there's Delta Math homework. I can't remember what I planned. But I'll post assignments in the next few minutes, okay? Send me fun pictures of yourself or your animals.
Can I meet with you after school today?
Yes,
Where can I meet you?
just in the Math Center.
Okay, cool. Thank you.